This video is part of a playlist that's being produced in collaboration with other photographers on YouTube. Throughout December, more videos will be added to the playlist. We'll leave a link in the description below. This morning we've decided to pop down to one of Hannah's favourite places to come and try to photograph otters.
Yes, I mean this is normally what I do most days off, and I decided to let Sam come with me this morning.
So we actually came down just before sunrise. It was absolutely gorgeous sunrise. It only lasted a couple of minutes.
It was very short.
It was very short, but the sky just caught fire. And we spent a little bit of time, didn't we? We split up because I didn't want to scare the otters away. It's better we're not both together. So we split up and spent a little bit of time just down by the banks of the river, searching out for otters, trying to see if we could see any.
Yes.
Did you have any success?
No.
No? I didn't have any success either. But there was some wonderful wildlife around anyway. I didn't get any images, but there was a nice little grey wagtail at one stage, which I was watching.
I think you were filming rather than photographing.
Yeah, I got a little bit of film. A robin came and visited me, and there's an egret that turned up as well. So it was too far off to photograph. I just got a little bit of video footage of its head poking up above the bank. But yeah, absolutely gorgeous morning. No otters this morning, but that's kind of, I guess, how it goes when trying to photograph otters.
Absolutely. It's, yes, makes it all the more special when you do actually see one. So.
Yeah, I'm sure. I've not seen one yet. I
not here anyway. You've seen otters in Scotland, but just not here in Oxfordshire.
Not an English otter. Never seen an English otter. So what we're going to do, I think, this morning is we're going to have a little bit of a wander around. We'll see if we can see any signs of otters. We'll be looking for some signs of spraint, and I think we're going to set up a trail camera as well. But the other thing we wanted to do for this video, which is actually part of the Vlogmas playlist, which we'll provide details of in the description below, we actually thought it would be a good chance to sort of have a bit of a catch-up. We'll do a bit of a recap and maybe go over some of our favourite highlights of this year. And the other thing is we've got actually a little bit of news about the channel which we wanted to share with you guys. We've been sitting on it for a little while.
We've hinted.
We have hinted at it, so we'll be announcing that at the end of the video as well.
I always just like to have a look for signs of otters after trying to photograph them. It helps me to know whereabouts along the river they are for planning the next trip. So I have walked straight past this spot this morning when I was kind of intent on looking for otters, and this is a little mound where I have seen spraint before, and I am very pleased to say that, I mean, the smell of otter around here, it's pretty unmistakable. I love the smell, but there is some fresh spraint here, which is fantastic. So even though we missed her this morning, she is still around, and yeah, optimistic for next time.
So as we're coming up towards the end of the year, we thought it would be a good opportunity to have a little bit of a recap of what we think our highlights of the year have been so far. So what would you say is your favourite video of 2021?
Favourite video? One of the contenders would have to be the gannet and puffin video.
Definitely, yeah.
I enjoyed making that with you. I enjoyed the fact that it was a joint venture. We both got some nice images, and yeah, it was great to see we'd never seen gannets so close before, so it was a really nice experience.
It was a bit of a journey as well, because it started off not really all that promising. We had such thick fog on that first morning, but yeah, I think we both came away from that trip with some really good images, didn't we?
Yeah, happy with that. That would be a contender. But the main video of 2021 for me must be my otter video. I think of it as being a year ago, but actually the final photos were taken in January of this year. So it still counts as this year, 2021. and yeah, and that was my favourite video, definitely.
Yeah, there was so much work that went into that as well, and it was such a sort of big journey, wasn't it, that you went on to get that video. But to have it all come to fruition in the end was I think really quite special.
So that was all good. How about you?
Favourite video? I've got a few actually. I think probably the ones which I made up in Scotland are probably up there. There's a few of those actually which stand out. I think probably again, I think as you were saying, videos where it's the two of us together I think always work best, and so I think from that point of view as well, I'd say my favourite video from the year is probably the one where we climbed Ben Alligan, because first of all it was our first ever Munro. And we had stunning weather, and the views from the top were absolutely beautiful, and it's been a mountain I've wanted to climb for some time now, so to actually make it up there this year was really quite something special.
It was nice that we videoed ourselves doing it as well.
Yeah, it's just nice to have a record of that, and it's one of the main reasons why we started doing the channel, really, was to have these kind of memories documented in that way. And that was really, really good. I'd say from a photographic point of view, because we went up in the middle of a day and we came back down before sunset, I'm not sure the photographs are some of my favourite photographs, but I was quite pleased with how some of them came out. So yeah, I think from the point of view of a video, definitely my favourite video. And what about photographs? What would you say is your favourite photograph?
Well, that ties in a little bit. So the otter photos, I photographed an otter. It was actually here at this spot in January 2021. And I have such an emotional investment in those photos. It took me so long to find where an otter lives and, yes, to eventually see her. Therefore I do find it difficult to take away that emotional attachment to the photos. So if the question is favourite photo, those two photos I took of the otter here would have to be my favourites. But I do appreciate that to an outsider they are not stunning award-winning photos. So actually, in terms of what is the best photo that I've taken this year, there was a photo I took of a gannet where its feet were pretty much symmetrical. It was standing quite square, and its tail feathers were crossed over, which again was another element of symmetry. And I really like that shot. I think it's artistically it is a better shot than my otter photos.
I think that's the thing, isn't it? There's often a difference between the photos which mean the most to us personally and the ones which we objectively think are the better photos from a technical point of view. But sometimes just the amount of effort that you put into getting a photo can really make that photo mean more.
Yes, and so I've got one of the photos of the otter I've got printed out and framed in our bedroom, whereas the gannet photo I haven't, because to me I would rather look at the otter photo, but I'm sure anyone else they'd rather look at the gannet photo. So how about you?
Favourite image, I think probably I've had some really nice images from up in Scotland again this year. I'd say the photo that I took by Loch Clare of Liuga is probably up there. Also, the image, similarly to what you were saying about the amount of effort that you have to put in to get a photo, the photograph that I took in the rain of a waterfall, I think just I went through so much stress just trying. Well, it wasn't stress, but it was such a mission to try
perseverance.
And get perseverance. That's the word I'm looking for, to get that image. And you thought I'd gone completely mad.
Oh, absolutely. I was sat in the car
thinking I'd completely lost it.
Yes.
But I just kept dashing out in the odd gap between the rain showers, and eventually got an image. And I've got loads of images actually which I took where there's just loads of water all over the lens, and there's just this one where it actually works. And so from the point of view of perseverance, that image is up there. But I think actually, in terms of my favourite image, I'm actually going to go for a wildlife shot.
Ooh, make a wildlife photographer of you?
And even more controversial, speaking to you about it, because I know you're obsessed with hares, and hares are your department, but I'm afraid my image of a hare...
That is a lovely image. That is a really lovely image.
That has to take the title, I think, of my favourite image of the year. That was, again, it was during the lockdown at the start of the year, and so I was still working from home on the occasional day, which was great in a way because it meant that I had that little bit of time in the morning. I could go out and we have this field. It's only about 10-15 minute walk from our front door, and I could go out there and just lay and wait for these hares, and I went out there several mornings trying to photograph them, and they were always too far off, but occasionally one would come across the field towards you, and this particular morning it was frosty, and this hare just came straight towards me, and it was just as the sun was rising, and it had frost frozen in its whiskers, and it was backlit by the rising sun, and to be honest, I think I'd be hard pushed to ever have better conditions for photographing a hare than that, and that shot is... and also it was shortlisted for Close-Up Photographer of the Year as well, which was I was really pleased about. So so really pleased. That's definitely my favourite image.
Yes.
Yep.
So, well, hopefully 2022 we'll have even more images for both of us.
Yep.
So,
I think now it's time to go and set up a trail camera.
yes.
Do you have somewhere in mind?
I do. So, yes, let's head over.
Great. Let's go and do that. So we're just on our way over now to the spot which Hannah's earmarked for putting up a trail cam. And we should point out, by the way, that Hannah has actually spoken to the local farmer who owns this land and gained permission to put these trail cams up in this area. So it is important in areas like this that you do get permission from the landowner before putting these trail cams up. And try and put them somewhere where they're not going to be obvious for walkers and dog walkers and people like that who might sort of get inquisitive and come and try and find out what it is.
Something's been there. So I've decided to place the trail camera here. Reasoning for that is that there is an animal track right along, well, basically where I am. And so yeah, it's quite a good, in my mind, it's quite a good location to put the trail camera. I've also put it so it's backs towards this thorny bush. The idea is that it therefore will disguise the silhouette of the trail camera, so it will be as unintrusive as possible to, hopefully, the otter that has created this track.
After a few days we came back and collected the trail camera, and we found that we'd captured footage of a fox as well as a muntjac. However, we did also have a very brief glimpse of our otter. Here are a few other clips of the otter that we've managed to capture on our trail camera over the past few months. We did just want to end this video with a little bit of an announcement about what's going to be happening with the channel next year. So some of you might have been wondering why we've spent so much time up in Scotland this year. The reason is we're actually going to be moving up there in February.
Indeed.
So as many of you may be aware, I've actually been working the last few years. I work as a research scientist in my day job at the University of Oxford, and that's been a temporary 3-year position. And so our plan actually originally was that we take a little bit of time out at the end of those 3 years to spend focusing more on our photography. But actually we decided over the last couple of years that actually we'd like to try and make a permanent move up to the Highlands. So when my contract ends, we're going to be moving up there. We've already bought a house, which is just to the south of the Torridon range of mountains. Absolutely stunning part of the world, and we really just can't wait to get up there. So we've been up a few times this year, and obviously it's an amazing area for landscape photography. It's also a stunning spot for wildlife photography as well.
Yes, there are otters in the local area, and there are pine martens actually in our garden.
Yep. So you were up there couple of weeks ago and managed to capture a pine
Yeah.
martin on trail camera in our garden.
In our garden.
So we're really excited about that.
Yes.
So hopefully it means that we're going to be able to bring you guys an awful lot more content next year, more regular content featuring both of us together.
Yes, that'd be nice.
It won't just be me walking about in the woods. So we're really looking forward to that. We just wanted to update you and let you know that that's what's going to be going on next year. But the other thing we wanted to do was also point you towards the Christmas Vlogmas playlist, which this video is a part of. So we were actually asked to contribute this video to that playlist by Chris and Mike Pereira, who are also a married couple who have a YouTube channel, so definitely go and check out their channel if you're not already familiar with them. But they've asked several of us YouTubers to put together videos and release them on days throughout December this year on the lead up to Christmas. So definitely go and check out that playlist, where some of our favourite YouTubers are on that playlist, so it's definitely worth checking out. But that just leaves us to say we wish you all a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year, and we'll see you next time.